Gold Trip, how did you get him? Like, how did you end up with Gold Trip?
Were you working Ciaron at the time or not? I can't remember.
No, I'd finished, but I was part of the gig back, but I wasn't a part of it, like the...
It was back and forth, so we had him done for obviously a big lump of money, and then Saudi came over the top and brought the horse.
Really?
And then the money never arrived, and so this was going on for about, it was like a 4-week
Really?
thing.
Yeah.
You know the old Bloodstock thing, we had him done.
Oh, yeah.
But we hadn't actually done the money. But thankfully, Will.
But was that you, or is that someone else currently
No,
in the
we
Australian market
we
trying to claim
actually
it?
thought we had him, but as you know, you never really have him until you have him. Especially
they're here.
Especially a big ticket horse like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I think Saudi came up for they put a huge offer in for their World Cup.
Was that after he? That was after the Arc.
They want to run him on the dirt, apparently.
Was that after the Arc?
Yeah, after he come fourth in the Arc.
Fourth in the Arc as a 3-year-old to Sotas. Good 3-year-old campaign, and you're locked in Jamie Lovett, Australian Bloodstock.
Well, no, Jamie, in all fairness, Jamie said, there's 2 horses that we're looking at.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't too much in-depth analysis on form. It was like, this horse has come fourth in the Arc, he's come third in Group 1 his last start. So it wasn't like we actually delved. I remember showing Ciaron the replay of the Arc, and Kieran's like, well, why are we buying this horse?
Yeah, what's the guesswork?
I remember watching the Arc, and they come around the turn, he pulled out and he went, like he launched to win the Arc.
Yeah.
And whether he peaked or whether he, wasn't quite strong enough or whatever.
Not the right jockey?
Well, maybe not the right jockey.
So. 100%.
Given the current
company.
Company. But he went to win the race and just peaked or wasn't quite ready or whatever. But he's turned a foot, and we actually thought, well, the reason we bought him was, that was 1.5 miles, and we thought the Cox Plate's going to be ideal. He's turned a foot. In an elite race like that, we've seen other horses come out from Europe that race in lesser races and gone to bigger heights.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, this is
legit.
And he was there to win the Cox Plate when he first turned up before he wasn't running. I remember for the next 12 months, because Damien Oliver was doing the work leading up to the Cox Plate. For the next 10 months while the horse was out, he must have resonated with him, because every time I saw him at the trials, hey Will, where's Gold Trip? What's he doing? Where's Gold Trip? What's he doing?
Said, Ollie, I'll take it from here, mate. I'll take it.
But it's funny, so he goes and runs fourth in the Arc, and as you said, he was placed in a Group 1 before that as a 3-year-old. He won a group race as a 3-year-old, race as a 2-year-old. But you look at it and we're like, oh, geez, as you say, if a horse is running like that in a race like the Arc as a 3-year-old and letting down like he's got an absolute boom on him, what are we doing in Australia if it's a domestic animal running as a 3-year-old in the Cox Plate? Like, you're just helter-skelter for him.
Well, you're talking about, so he thinks, that sort of ilk. Yeah. I remember the first few starts, he would jump well and would put him in the race, and you're sort of like, as you would, this horse is a supreme stayer. You put him in the race, as we would think, because he would just outstay them. But as we worked out reasonably quickly, or you worked out, he actually didn't like the hustle and bustle. He was like, it was a bit like track work or trials on a Monday. He'd be like, hey, let's just agree. I'll just cruise around. And you would give him that confidence, I felt.
No, but if you annoyed him, I worked out because I could resonate definitely with his trainer and sometimes with his jockey. If he got annoyed, he'd go in the opposite direction. So I thought, like Ciaron and myself, you keep telling me and driving me mad to do something. What I'll do, I'll say, F you, I'll do the opposite. Where if you just leave us to do our own thing
and believe in what's under the hood.
Don't annoy us. Yep, we'll work it out.
Won't let you down.
Yep, won't let you down. And so I worked out pretty quick after a couple of rides doing that. Yes, he could sit 3rd or 4th, and I'd niggle him, and you'd look like you get running the race, but then he'd be like, all right, well, you want to drive me mad for the first half, I'll teach you in the second half, I probably won't be as strong. Yeah. Where if I come out and just went, you do what you want to do. The first 3/4 race, you do what you want to do, but on the big stage, the last little bit, you're going to have to pick up for me. And I'd leave him alone, I'd come out, and he'd just go, like, his turn of foot was just
Turnbull Stakes?
Unbelievable, yeah. Like a Turnbull Stakes.
No, well, but even before that, that leads us to the Melbourne Cup prelim. The Melbourne Cup prelim was right, Murray, we're going to have the last crack at him because we're going to be sitting back, and we're going to have the last crack. You know, this is what we're going to do.
Yep.
He's got a brilliant turn of foot.
Yeah.
Doesn't like to be annoyed. And I remember watching the race. Mark's 3/4 of the way back, and then just ended up in the right spot. Well, he put the horse in the right spot. Ends up just like at the 400 with like
clear air.
The clear air, nothing in front of him, and the horse like this. And I'm like, hey, I thought we had a deal. We're going to wait. And thankfully, Mark, as you do, he must have felt amazing underneath.
I couldn't make him go like, because he just like went, in a Melbourne Cup, the battle for, I'd say, 23 out of 24 jockeys is, I'd say, well, 24 is getting your horse to stay. Like, that's your main focus. How am I going to run 3,200 metres? Because obviously not all of them can do that. It's a tough distance to race in. So I just came out and just went bang, just didn't even worry. I'm not even going to worry about the first part. Can be where he wants to be. So we're out the back, and he's just like biding his time. Like, and you can see jockeys around you because a lot of horses can't settle for that period, you know, that amount of time. Jockeys are skiing, they're all skiing around. I'm like 2 laps on the big sand around Cranbourne. Like just
as the old phrase goes, smoking the pipe.
Yep, smoking time. Having just.
Hang on. When was the last time we went 2 laps on the big stand around Cranbourne?
I was going to actually say Flemington because it would have been my apprenticeship. So no,
that's right.
But I'm just cruising along there. And then, like, he started to get interested before me. So we get to, like, probably the 1,000 and a few, there's a few rush of bloods coming, so they start to take off. And all of a sudden, Gold Trip's like, I've had my rest, you know, you let me do what I wanted to do for the majority. Now I want to get going. And I was like, he's sort of horse I didn't want to disappoint. Like, if he wanted to get going, I had to let him go a little bit, because if I went, no, we're not going yet, he'd go, oh, well, fuck you then, you know, maybe I won't go.
Yeah.
So I let it, and then, as Ciaron said, they were actually all starting to, they were gone. The horse in front of me were all starting to fold. So I was
you end up being the front of the third wave without actually doing anything.
Because as they're there, and they're all riding their horses out, and I'm like, and he gets to the front, and I'm like, I am bolting here. And you know, Gold Trip's having a look around, like, big, wide open straight, this open straight. And I always said to Ciaron, when you went on him, you couldn't just go, I'll just slowly go through my gears and I'll help you through it. When you went, you had to go right. And so at the 400, I thought, this is a bit early, but we've got no other option here. We need to go for home. So I just went, yeah, and he sprinted, and he was like the first half of the straight, like sprinted, and no joke. I reckon if his mind was on, like, he would have just careered away, but he got there and went,
you had to pull it in the left to get it going, and it sort of went.
That's right.
But he can also sprint after that length as well.
Yeah, so he cleared and then waited a bit, and I was like, all right, well, I got to do something different now. So I'd switch into the left and hit him, and then he went again, and then it was
game over.
Yeah, hugs and kisses all around.
Well, when he went. That day in the Turnbull was like, he went from last to 3 in front like that.
Well, the Turnbull was his best race. I think he's ever done, and the quality of horse, like you're talking romantic warrior, you know, and he just sat back like.
I still think like if we had another year out of him, like now we know everything, and we just went, Cox Plate's going to be our race. 2024 Cox Plate's going to be a race. I reckon.
Yeah.
Can't say he's going to win it before it, but like he would have been so competitive because that day he won, like that was a cracking field. And I was back, just to ride him how, like now we knew how to ride him, just lasts, clocking off. And when I just peeled out at the straight, when I got to the top of the straight and got outside and went, like I had it won at the 300.
Yeah, it was weird. It was actually weird being in the mounting yard because we half turned to each other at the 200 mark and was like, good work,
I agree.
To Gold Trip.
Yes.